So how many of you would say that you have a regular daily or almost daily formal meditation practice to support what you're doing? Turn around. I want you to all look around, okay? Because it's like 80% of the hands. Raise them up high so we can really, whoa. You know, this would not have happened even 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. The world is changing. And while none of us, you know, in the sort of instrumental line, you know, we say, well, you know, really it should be the Dalai Lama who's doing all this. But the Dalai Lama, he has limited bandwidth, you know, for God's sake. He needs help. And then you can, whoever your guru of the moment is, they like, you know, let whoever is on the main stage do it. No, this has to be a kind of distributive engagement, the love affair on the part of all of us whose hearts beat, who care, who breathe, who are human, and who really care about more than just maximizing my own, whatever I think I need in order to be happy, because you know, you've probably had the experience where as soon as you get what you think you need to be happy, you're not happy anymore because there's something else that you need to get. So there's no end to that kind of acquisitive mind. And it's the same for meditation. You know, people get into meditation, they get acquisitive about stages of enlightenment. And you say, well, what is enlightenment? I don't know. Well, but you want it. You want it. That's what you want the most. And, you know, it's like, well, why don't you try just being the awareness of not knowing? Then you're already here. And then, as the Heart Sutra says, no place to go, nothing to do, nothing to attain. And paradoxically, the next line in the Heart Sutra is, the Bodhisattva, you, attains anuttara anyak sambodhi, supreme perfect enlightenment. Okay? But it's not what you think. It's already the essence, you know, of who you are. The Buddhists would say Buddha nature. So can you see the Buddha nature in your students? Because you're there for that transmission. And however you got it, you are a conduit. And yet you shape it in your own beautiful, particular ways. And as I said, none of us really are, you know, competent to do it, but when the house is on fire, you try to do what you can, and the house is definitely on fire. So I think first I'm going to ask Eric if you want to ask any more of those particular questions if I didn't cover them, because I like to have a lot of dialogue. And so if there's one egregious thing that I've left out in terms of the few questions that you asked.
Yeah, many.
That's what I thought.
I think I think one question that some people may have is, if you're not a teacher and you have a great experience with meditation, again, how to introduce it to people close to you, and maybe how not to introduce it to people close to you as you wanna share it.
Okay.
And
let's start with that.
Yeah.
Okay. My recommendation, and I'm a sort of tough guy when it comes to this kind of thing, is don't do that. Just live it. Be what it is that you want to teach, and let the rest take care of itself. I think that it's really important not to become a kind of proselytizer of mindfulness, or like, my children, you would really be, you know, better off if you were more mindful. Yeah, and the kids, they're looking at you and they see the entire full-dimensional, three-dimensional, 360-degree, you're telling me how I should be, but you're not actually practicing it yourself. So the most important thing is be it, whatever the it is. The irony is, you already are it, but we keep forgetting because we're so self-distracting. And we're so preoccupied and lost in thought. So you don't even have to squelch the thinking, just be aware that you're lost, and all of a sudden the awareness is not lost anymore. And here's a thumbnail thing that you can always use. Is your awareness, let's say, when you're depressed. Does anybody ever get depressed? When you are depressed, I mean, often it's for good reason. I mean, but you can ask yourself, is your awareness of your depression depressed? Check it out. Maybe you could live more in the awareness rather than in the depression, which is really a thought disorder of depressive rumination, where one thought takes you down, down, deeper, deeper than the other. Is your awareness of anxiety, does anybody ever get stressed or anxious in this crowd? Okay, well, when you're anxious, can you hold your own anxiety and awareness with a degree of self-compassion? And ask yourself, investigate, look through the microscope or telescope. Is my awareness of my anxiety at all anxious? Can I feel the tension in my body? But the body is much more than simply the tension. And in the actual bringing of awareness to it, it can actually dispel like touching a soap bubble. It goes poof. Again, it's a muscle. You exercise it, you work with, not against, the resistance of like not wanting to do it or not being able to remember in time and then getting in your own way and then having to apologize. It's all practice. It's all practice. So that's what I would say. And it doesn't mean that you can't teach your kids to meditate, but it's far better to have them learn from somebody else at school rather than from you, because you're too attached to the outcome. Okay? And they know it already, so it's like they're the real Zen masters in the house, not you. And if you actually let them be the teachers to a certain degree, then I think things will just go much more optimally.